Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports with myself, Liam Jenkins, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again. If you're new to this channel and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to us if you could. And there is a trend now that we have here at Philly Sports Network. If this video gets to 250 likes, we will give away a t-shirt to a random commenter. It was a hoodie and I realised I'm losing too much money, so we've got to, you know, play it safe. But we want to give back to you guys. You are literally the best fan base on the planet. We're so lucky to have you. So once we get 250 likes, if you've dropped your opinion down below and you're subscribed, you're automatically entered. We'll pick a random winner as soon as it's 250 and you can win a nice little hoodie like this. But today's episode is going to be hopefully a bit of a shorter one because I am actually terrified, and I mean spooky, scary skeleton terrified. Not because I've got a Halloween costume for next episode, that's by the by, alright, that's coming. But the NFL trade deadline is officially one day away, which means if you're not new around this channel, you know there is another trend that we have here at Philly Sports Network, which is the second I release a video or a podcast, the news happens, doesn't it? They make a move, they make a trade, they sign someone, and I know for a fact the second I hit upload on this video, the Eagles are going to sign someone. Wait, hold the fort, wait just a second, I'm getting word the Eagles have just made, Gennard Avery? Huh? The Eagles have traded an undisclosed 2021 pick for Gennard Avery, and I can include it in the video, so it's a big win. Avery's a really intriguing player to me. In 2018, he was a 6th round rookie that had 4.5 quarterback sacks to his name, along with over 10 quarterback hits. He was really productive as a pass rusher, but then the Browns underwent a schematic change where he was used as an off-ball linebacker, and he's kind of fallen out of favour a little bit, and it's been a healthy scratch most of this season. Now, this is a double-edged sword, because the Eagles could use him as a linebacker. They could try and deploy him as an off-the-ball linebacker in a position where depth is absolutely minimal. Or you put him at defensive end in sub-package rotations where you can let him penetrate the offensive line, which is something he clearly does very well. The guy had 44.5 tackles for a loss at Memphis and over 20 sacks to his name, so he can clearly get into the backfield and cause havoc. But do the Eagles want him there, and who's he going to replace? This doesn't exactly look good for guys like Vinny Curry or Sharif Miller, who has been about as productive as me on this Eagles defense so far. People wanted a pass rush move. It's a pass rush move. I don't think it's where the Eagles are going to stop, though. There's bound to be more. Definitely something in the kitchen that how he's cooking. But what could it possibly be? Back to the video. So we're going to try and speed through the trade deadline stuff as soon as we can. You guys get more content, so it's all good. But first and foremost, let's just give a big thank you to Orlando Scandrick, the saviour of the 2019 season. We stand a hateful king, ladies and gentlemen. Orlando Scandrick went on to Undisputed earlier this week after being cut by his former team along with Akeem Spence, although Akeem didn't go on Undisputed. And he had a few choice words to say about guys like Malcolm Jenkins and the rest of the team. And I made a video breaking all of that down, so if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to go and watch it. If you haven't, here's a little snippet. One.
I would tell guys when I came there, like, I still feel like they're living on that Super Bowl high. Like, it's over. You living in the past, but some of the...
Right, why would you tell someone, in what instance would you tell someone that? Imagine this in any other scenario. Someone comes into your work late, all right? You work in a retail store or an office, and you go, all right, Jeremy, why are you late today? Don't mind me, just a little bit late. Well, do you know what, Jeremy? You're still living off of that one night out 3 weeks ago where you jumped off a table and everyone loved you and you went viral on Facebook, all right? Get over it. It happened. Get to work. It's 2 weeks later now. Sort it out. It's just not the same. I can't think of a situation where as a newcomer to a team, you'd put your bags down and go, God, bloody hell, you lot are living in the past. What's that, Lombardi over there? Take that down. God, living in the past, bloody sort it out. So this could have gone either two ways. It could have gone down like a cup of cold sick and reinvigorated this team, galvanised the locker room, brought them together, or it could have hit the self-destruct button and ruined them entirely. It looks as though it's done the former. The Eagles escaped with a 31-13 victory over the Buffalo Bills in a rainy, windy New Era Stadium. Now, someone called it sloppy conditions. It was on AstroTurf, so I don't know where they're getting that from. But it's ironic that on a day where the rain was pouring, the Eagles lay on a storm of thunder and lightning. Am I right? Am I right? Jordan Howard exploded for a 96-yard performance, and he was so close to getting that 100-yard game. It would have been the first game in 35 consecutive that the Eagles would have had a 100-yard rusher, but Peterson went, Nah, pull the button. It's not worth it, mate. Get back on the sideline. Go on, finish that Sudoku puzzle. But Howard was dominant from start to finish, and Miles Sanders also had himself a big game as well. We had a couple of nice receptions, and of course, a 65-yard run. Left the Eagles in a very tricky situation, because they're now 4-4, which means with the trade deadline literally tomorrow, they've got to make a move. They buyers or sellers at the deadline, are they going to find that missing piece that's going to galvanise this team or not? And it's harder than you think, because Leonard Williams earlier today was traded to the Giants after being absolutely fleeced by the New York Jets, so it's safe to say how he wasn't dealing with Joe Douglas, who's very much been trained in the school of Howie Roseman and Ozzie Newsome's guide to absolutely fleecing teams. But the Eagles' position groups themselves that need help are also in a state of flux. Let's start from the top, we'll work our way down, and I guarantee a move will happen by the time we finish this video. We'll start with defensive tackle, probably the heaviest need on the team right now. It's made up of Fletcher Cox and got Anthony Rush. He was my off-season crush. He didn't need a hairbrush and he's already contracted Albert Huggins, because that's what all the Eagles fans needed last week. Just a lot of Huggins. And Bruce Hector is sort of like the budget version of Trayvon Hester from last year. So it's not exactly an exhilarating group. But the problem is, despite how much you clearly need depth there, is that Timmy Jernigan could well be on his way back. And if that's the case, you're going to struggle to facilitate that third defensive tackle, because you can make an argument for someone like a Bruce Hector or an Anthony Rush, or even just going and acquiring someone like a Bo Allen from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a trade, who's played the system, he knows where he fits in. The Eagles played him in close to 30% of snaps during that Super Bowl season. It's not going to cost a lot. He's not seeing the field. I think he's on the field for like 15% of the time in Tampa. Go get him. They're sellers. They were 2-4 going into last week. Just go and get Bo Allen. It makes sense. If we talk cornerback, I don't think anyone is going to fix his cornerback group right now. I've said it day 1. I'll say it day 97. It doesn't matter who you get, whether it's Jalen Ramsey or Darius Slay, although I do love Darius Slay, and think of the Christmas puns. There's too much in the way of schematic deficiency. It's just the same stuff over and over again. The blueprint's out to beat this defense. Unless Jim Schwartz can suddenly work miracles and overcome his own arrogance, then I can't see that changing. So you'd be spending a lot of money for a cornerback that may or may not have your desired impact. It's a big risk for someone like Slay, who's going to command a little bit of that. You've then got wide receiver, and Robby Anderson is the name that everyone wants, but 1, he plays for the Jets, which means negotiating with Joe Douglas, and 2, Deshaun Jackson's going to come back soon. He's apparently coming back to practice this week, and if he does come back to practice, you've then got 2 speed receivers, and it's too many chefs in the kitchen all over again, and we've already seen what happens when Kevin's asked to cook the chili. Haven't we, Office fans? The only position I can genuinely see them making a move at is linebacker, and the one player that stands out to me is Lavonte David. I don't think they're going to be able to go and grab him, but it makes sense to me. Like, right now you've got Nate Yari playing 100% of snaps, and I know I did a film room on a heartbreaking loss saying, hey, he's showing promise. I didn't call him a pro bowler or say he's going to be amazing, but there is a lot of work to do. I mean, he flashes excellence, and then the rest of it is abysmal, isn't it? It's sort of like my love life, really. There's been little flashes of excellence. Not like that, you dirty... Ooh. And then the rest of it's just been disappointment, really. So, going and getting a linebacker, someone that can captain the middle of the field. I don't think they really realised what they were losing in Zach Brown, because now your group is literally made up of Duke Riley, Camu Grugier-Hill, Nate Yari, TJ Edwards. It's just not the strongest group with Nigel Bradham down. We don't know how much longer he's going to be injured. So if you're going to go anywhere, go and get a linebacker. But there is a but. Got a wild card for you, alright? Let me position this. Would you rather wide receiver numero uno, who had 20 receptions on 28 targets for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2018, or a receiver this year who has 29 receptions on 46 targets, 261 yards and 3 touchdowns? I would say number 1. Now, the interesting thing is that wide receiver 1 is good old Jordan Matthews. Wide receiver number 2 is $9.3 million Nelson Aguilar. Now, for me, cutting Akeem Spence, cutting Orlando Scandrick, cutting Zach Brown doesn't really instill fear to a defense. It doesn't really install a case of, oh my god, they're cutting those players, therefore I can lose my job. It's just more that meme of Drake going, ooh, wow. Like, if you're a player that is late for meetings, that hasn't really kicked it up a gear, that needs to kick up the backside, I don't think seeing Orlando Scandrick on a veteran's minimum being released is somehow going to light that fire. Nelson Aguilar, who was drafted by the team, who now has a $9.3 million contract here, I think that would. Do you not think if Matt Collins sees Nelson Aguilar cast aside that that's going to make him wake up a little bit? I think it certainly might do. So given that it's unlikely Aguilar comes back anyway, use him as a deal sweetener. And the best part about that is if you do so, that you can negate a bigger contract. So if you go and get, let's say, a Geno Atkins or a Lavonte David, someone close to that 10 million sort of price bubble, you're already paying most of it with Aguilar. You can just pay the little bump. You've got 27 million in cap space. You can afford that. It makes sense. Now, when you lose Nelson Aguilar, you bring back our reliable, because the one thing this offense is missing right now is chemistry. Matt Collins has about as much spatial awareness as anyone that's ever played a racing game online. They're getting literally no production from Arcega-Whiteside, who's sidelined, so it makes sense to at least bring someone back. And fun fact, did you know that Jordan Matthews actually has Carson Wentz's dog's puppy from their first season? They're best mates. How do I know that? He told me. So BFFL. But seriously though, Jordan Matthews is one of the nicest guys you could meet. He's best friends with Carson Wentz, and he produces in Philly. I made a film room last year, go watch it. He became a much more complete receiver in comparison to what we saw in years past. He was playing WR2, he was a lot more physical during the stem of the routes, and hey, he's gonna throw the ball to him, so you might as well make the most of it. I don't care if he gets one touchdown and another 200 yards, it's a damn sight better than what we're getting from Nelson Aguilar, and it's gonna cost you 9 million less, which you can invest in another position. So bang, that'd be move number one. The other way of looking at it though would be that the Eagles worked out a lot, and I mean a lot, of big-bodied receivers pre-draft. We're talking Jalen Hurd, we're talking AJ Brown. They wanted a big slot receiver. They drafted Arcega-Whiteside, guaranteed Alshon Jeffrey's 2020 salary. The best thing they could do is put Arcega-Whiteside in the slot, let him run rampant as that big slot receiver, and just go from there. Like, get the guy on the field. He's a second-round pick. He's got to do something more than sit on the sideline playing Fortnite on his new Samsung Galaxy. So in my 3-step guide to a perfect trade deadline, number 1, get a linebacker or defensive tackle. Number 2, get rid of Aguilar. Number 3, he's coming home. And I really hope that this doesn't get completely ruined by the fact that the Eagles are going to make a move the second I hit upload on this video. But you know what won't get ruined the second I hit upload on this video? Your Philly Sports Network merchandise. If you want to win one, drop a comment down below and leave a like. It's as simple as that. If you don't, you can buy them and support the channel, support the guys, support the boys, support the writers, support PSN. It's PSN season. You're a part of it, and you can get all the funky designs down below. Also, we're going to have ugly Christmas sweaters, so that's going to be cool. On to the Phillies, and if they've done nothing, and Joe Girardi had a press conference today in which he called himself selfish. So if that's like a first date, apparently he's won people over because he also called the Phillies selfish. Imagine meeting a girl on a first date and being, do you know what, you are so selfish, but so am I, so wanna hook up? Might as well. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Philadelphia Union lost their second playoff game, which is a heartbreaker. They got through the first round in incredible fashion, took the game to extra time, won it in extra time, and then in the second game, just lost, and it's very upsetting. But what a season the boys had. So a big shout to the Philadelphia Union and all of our writers at PSN, so Tim, Matt, and Jeff for doing a fantastic job covering the team. The Philadelphia Flyers are 4-1, and they benched Carter Hart last night. As if my heart wasn't broken enough, they've broke Carter's heart as well, and I won't stand for that. I just won't, alright? But then again, they are 5-4-1 and lost to the Islanders, who have won 7 in a row now. So beggars can't be choosers, really. Were you ever going to win that game? Probably not. Travis Konechny, Harry Maguire, I should say, looks very good right now, so he's got that going for him. But they do need more production from that top line, and I'm sure that's something that's going to be addressed over the coming days. The 76ers are 2-0. They face the Atlanta Hawks tonight, including Trae Young and his receding hairline, in a bid to go to 3-0. But can we just appreciate that Matisse Thybulle is a national treasure? And I would die for him at this point. I just think he's an absolute god amongst men. He's a little sweetie, and I just want to give him a little cuddle, if I'm brutally honest. But guys, that wraps up another week of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy days to watch our content here at Philly Sports Network. Don't forget, you've got daily articles from myself, all of our writers at phillysportsnetwork.com. There may be a trade deadline stream tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. If not, you can follow me on Twitter at Liam Jenkins PSN. I'll see you soon.